What up, what up, what up, what up, ladies and gentlemen? Hit the like button. It's been a while. What up, what up, what up? How's everybody doing, ladies and gentlemen? I was in the hotel and I was just like, let me just go live for a bit. Is it laggy, guys? Is it laggy, guys? Is it laggy? Check, 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 1, 2. Is it better? Dang, maybe I can't watch any videos and shit. It's laggy as fuck, or is it good, guys? Come on, I need the answers. Audio's good. Check 1, 2. Come on, I need that technical, ladies and gentlemen. We're good. How's everybody doing? It's been a while. It seems that it lags on and off. Do I have good Wi-Fi or is it pretty shitty? If it's pretty shitty, guys, I will try to get something solved, but I'm in the hotel and you guys know kind of how hotel Wi-Fi is. So I'm using a software called StreamYard. But I don't think we can react to shit. There's no This is Josh. Josh and I have been doing e-com since 2017. We made our first $1 million in business together, and now we're just traveling. And you guys know that we have the mastermind in Europe. Is it laggy, guys? Shit. So if the picture lags, it's fine. You'll still catch the audio. It's not a big deal. Consider it a podcast.
Why did you delete all your YouTube videos?
Yeah, the reason I deleted my YouTube videos is I actually didn't want people that weren't tuning in live to receive the value in the same proportion to those that actually showed up and were part of the conversation. Because when you're doing this type of stuff, it's kind of two-way street. You know, people send you videos, people send you content, people interact with you, and it all kind of builds to the experience and to just do your own thing and whatever and not tune in when everybody else does. Most YouTubers go for views. I don't really care how many views I get, you know? So I'm going to give the value and the content to the people that show up. I think that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. It's yeah.
You might have to talk a little bit louder. You might have to get closer.
Can you hear me? Well, the mic's right here, right?
All right, so guys, I have officially hired a videographer. He'll be here tomorrow. Full-time videographer. As you guys know, I'm going to be traveling the world. I've already been to 40 countries. And now my goal is to do another probably 6-7 countries this year. So right now we have several countries in the radar, but you guys will be seeing that. As you guys know, we sold out the European mastermind. Actually, we do have 2 villas available. So four rooms. If anybody's interested, DM me. for the Capital Club EU Mastermind happening in Albania, September 14 to 19, which is next month. So if you guys want those spots, just let me know. But yeah, me and Josh have been doing e-com for a while, but we've also been investing in crypto, and we talk about a lot of topics, and him and I hadn't connected in a while. So let's kind of chop it up for a bit. What do you think about, right now we're in a situation where Bitcoin, the promise of Bitcoin is that Bitcoin is this idea of it's a hedge against inflation, right? Like that's the promise of Bitcoin. And that's the foundation of it, right? The dollar doesn't work. Bitcoin supersedes the dollar because it's deflationary or it's stable, right? You could say it's deflationary because money gets lost and whatever gets locked. So technically it is deflationary. Do we have to wait till every Bitcoin is mined for it to become valuable? Is Bitcoin just not really going to get to become what it was meant to be because it was supposed to be deflationary and never really was? What do you think is the current state of Bitcoin regarding the dollar? Because a lot of people talk about the dollar, the dollar is going to zero, but clearly the dollar is probably one of the strongest assets that you want to be in right now. So what are your thoughts?
I mean, I think
you might have to talk louder. Get closer.
Yo, can you guys hear me?
There you go.
Is this, I don't have a mic here?
No,
I can't hear anything on the ear.
Yeah, because we're not playing anything.
Oh. Are we going to be able to play something?
Maybe. If the thing is, it lags.
Yeah, I mean, like a year and a half ago, what was the narrative? Like dollars going to zero, dollars collapsing.
Yeah, that was the narrative.
Against inflation.
Mm-hmm.
But things changed really quickly in the last year and a half. I mean, go look at the chart of the US dollar compared to any other currency. Just look at the dollar strength index relative to other currencies on the Dixie, ticker DXY. It's made a parabolic move in the last year and a half. And some really good traders that I know were talking about the Dixie cratering, losing, 10-15%, but in fact it's gained like 20%. Yeah, I just tend to think normally whatever the main narrative is it's bullshit. It ends up normally being the complete opposite. And I think it's all about seasons. Like there's seasons to be out of the dollar, there's seasons to be in the dollar.
Yeah, and I think that's the name of the game. Like as you should be with everything else. Like people's idea of wealth is attributed to an asset. When we were talking about your true net worth isn't calculated by what you have, but by your ability to purchase things. Mm-hmm. Right? Like if everything out there is purchasable, it doesn't matter what you own. What matters is, can you get a loan on your house? Can you own a piece of land? Can you get a loan on that land? Because the land in of itself, unless you sell it, it's not valuable. Like you would have to sell it, which technically is a Ponzi, because in order for you to get your monies back, you have to sell it to the next guy and the next guy and the next guy. And Ray Dalio talks about this concept of the Ponzi. He calls it like something regarding like the Ponzi is basically eternal. Like the only reason things exist is because it's the next guy, the next guy, the next guy. And the moment the trust is broken, the next guy stops coming. And then everything collapses.
Think about like a hierarchy of power, whether it be like in an organization, in a civilization, in a community, a government. Do you feel like that's also a Ponzi scheme, literally like a pyramid scheme, where instead of money, it's just power being trickled down the pyramid?
I mean, obviously, I think there's always hierarchy in everything that you do. In every aspect of society, you have hierarchical status. And it applies across the board. But the cultural kind of stipulations in order to determine where you are in that ladder are different based on societies, right? Like a society would determine that this specific trait or this specific attribute or this specific action would put you on this echelon of society, whereas
but that can easily be engineered.
Correct. But like 2,000 years ago, you might have had to been like a crazy hunter, and that was like your status symbol. maybe your ability to provide in that way. Nowadays, you can just have money. You can do anything. You can be useless, and you can still be considered valuable because now value is attributed to what, like your purchasing power, your dollar value. So, anyways, is it lagging super bad, ladies and gentlemen? Is it pretty good? We got 350 people in house. Let me.
Yeah, lag. Bro, I have a video. John McAfee.
Oh yeah, but the thing is, we can't play videos, bro.
What?
Because it's hella laggy.
Dang, bro. We need a hotspot up here.
Yeah, we should get a hotspot. Is it laggy, guys? As long as the audio is good, then we're good. So let's do this. Let's do this. 1 second. How can I? There we go. Okay, perfect. So we've completely removed the visuals because you guys don't need the visuals right now because it's totally fine. The audio is perfect. So yeah, so let's just do something very straightforward and just continue with audio as if it was kind of like a podcast. So now we have this idea, Josh, of the dollar kind of being valuable. Do you think with what the moves that Russia is making regarding oil, do you think that the dollar's value is at risk? Its perceived value with what Russia's doing with the oil and the selling of the oil in different currencies that are not the dollar?
If you take it back to the 40s, the Bretton Woods system, after World War II, which the Bretton Woods meetings were basically the meetings in which all the Allied powers determined that the U.S. was going to be, or the U.S. dollar was going to be the reserve currency. And one of the main representatives for the U.S. during that time was a guy called Harry Dexter White that turned out later by the FBI, it was confirmed that he was a Russian asset. So if that is the case, a U.S. representative of that level, that status, that caliber, being involved in the U.S. becoming the global currency. And it's because the U.S. was the most powerful country in the world at the time. I think they had something like 80% of all the gold reserves in the world.
Yeah, they were fucking crushing. They had the biggest military power in the world.
And what happened?
That they were running the industrial era. They were running innovation. People migrating. They were like absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Europe was devastated by the wars. China was devastated by famine.
Yeah.
Japan is a homogenous state.
Yeah.
People don't leave.
Yeah.
So here you have this melting pot of opportunity, but now the melting pot of opportunity, people have realized at the highest levels that you end up having a scenario where you could say that a scenario where the upper hand is always an advantage of where the best people are going to, right? And the United States was able to attract that because of the freedom that it had. But now, because of all the rules that were imposed and people's ability to, not be punished by stealing and by cheating the system, now we've ended up with a corporate kind of ecosystem that is corrupt to the very core. And I was asking you today in the car, I was like, what would happen if like a high-end politician actually went to prison for fraud? When was the last time you saw the highest echelon of society actually have any sort of like repercussion publicly? Yeah. Nancy Pelosi, who we publicly know has stolen hundreds of millions of dollars in either information, bribes,
insider trading guaranteed.
Insider trading guaranteed, obviously, and she hasn't received any penalty. No. And people then are out.
2021,
exactly.
JP Morgan gets caught manipulating the metals markets, and they get $1 billion fine. And that's it. Well, how much do they profit? Maybe 10, 20 times that?
Yeah, I mean the ROI is massive. You know, you're already calculating your government fines for illegal activities into your P&L every single year. You're already calculating that. You're like, you know what? Like we're gonna exploit this country and this country and this country, and we'll receive some sort of global like economic sanctions or some sort of like fines. But you start realizing shit like HSBC. They were laundering knowingly all the money for the fucking Mexican cartel.
Yeah, bro.
For the fucking North Koreans.
Yeah.
And then you have banks like the Vatican Bank and then the Swiss banks who have secrecy acts.
Yeah.
Doing banking for the biggest criminals in the entire world.
Yeah, and nobody has access to those bank accounts.
Nobody has access to those bank accounts, to those records. The US can't come and it's like, oh yeah, give me access to this. Fuck you. That's what Switzerland would say. Like, why would we compromise people that have tens of billions of dollars here for you? The moment they compromise once, everything's broken. Kind of like Panama, right? Like as soon as the Panama Papers came out, the trust was absolutely destroyed. Guys, before we continue, we got 350 motherfuckers here. Hit the like button.
The connection, bro?
Yeah, it's really bad. Yeah. Hit the like button. Anthony, what's our current like ratio? What's our current like ratio, guys? Can somebody tell me in the chat what's how many likes we got? All right, once we get to 300, we'll continue. Yo, Leagueland, appreciate the donation. What are your thoughts on LUNC?
Luna Classic.
That's some bullshit.
It says 239.
Has to be 300.
300. At least 36. Let's see if we can get to 369 viewers, bro.
No, don't tell me that. Are
you making any oil plays? What if there's no oil crisis this winter and everybody longing oil gets crushed?
All right. Once we get to 300, we'll run it. What's our current like ratio? I'll tie my shoe in the meantime. In fact, I'm going to take my shoes off.
Bro, too bad.
Do you think BTC will dump? Let me check the charts, guys, real quick. Let me look at Bitcoin. Currently, we have a short on Bitcoin open. I opened this Bitcoin short a while ago. I'll tell you guys my percentile on this trade. Let me see. What's my trade looking like? I'm generating the live code. My screen's cracked, but 289%. Bitcoin is currently a short. League, stop donating me money, bro. If you bought Luna, you're fucked. Don't donate me any money, bro. You were my exit liquidity, League, while I was shorting you. But anyways,
what are the 3 rules of success?
The 3 rules, not the 3 rules, the 3 guaranteed.
Screen cracked, you're poor.
That's Anthony. The 3 skill sets necessary in order to be successful, which are your ability to sell, your ability to be resilient, your ability to bounce back, and then your ability to be proactive versus reactive. If you can master all 3 of those things, you can become successful because you plan ahead. Every time you fail, you get back up. and you have the ability to sell that, which means you have the ability to get rich, right? Because money is just an exchange of value, right? So somebody has to initiate that transaction, and that's selling. So, and then I saw people tweeting that a couple days later, stealing my shit. But anyways, let me ask you, what are your thoughts on e-commerce? E-commerce. What are your thoughts on e-commerce?
I mean, e-commerce is like a loaded word. Like there's so much.
Okay. What are your thoughts on
e-commerce.
Okay, perfect. Well, that's my question. What are your thoughts on e-commerce in 2022?
I mean, I think selling online, like you can still make money off it. I think it's still going to be the prime medium of purchasing, within the next few years, if it already isn't. If you take a look at like during the stimmy checks, when the stimmy checks were going out, what were people doing? They were buying a ton of stuff on Amazon. Amazon stock went crazy. So yeah, e-commerce is great. You can make a lot of money. It's great experience for young entrepreneurs. Because I mean, to be a good e-commerce entrepreneur, you need all those three pillars.
For sure.
That's 100%. And doing anything that will exercise those three pillars in your life, I feel like are good use of your time. It's going to teach you a lot of skills, all the skills you need to be able to learn how to build and operate a successful business.
I think that's a phenomenal assessment, because your ability to get better at being resilient, your ability to get better at being proactive, not reactive, your ability to become better at selling is going to make you richer, is going to make you wealthier, is going to make you more successful by default, because your ability to master the skills to success are more refined. So if the formula is there, you just have to get really fucking good at those three things. Like if you can't sell for shit, how many sales books have you read? You know, like, oh, you can't close a deal. Okay, well, how many deals have you tried to go and close? Because what's the difference between you and Jamie Dimon, who at the age of 27 was closing $100 million deals with Warren Buffett? It's that his mindset was $100 million deals. His information, who he was as an individual, was honed in that, oh, this is like what it is. People nowadays couldn't even fathom. They'd shit themselves. You know, so it's a mindset thing, because in essence, it's bullshit. It's all fake. It's all the same thing. Yeah, it might carry a more responsibility, but in essence, it doesn't really matter.
How do you gain access to esoteric information? You have to look for it. Seeking you shall find, knocking the door shall be open unto you. But that's the thing, is knocking, seeking, pursuing is difficult. But hey, that's what proactiveness is about.
Yeah, and resilience, your ability to bounce back, because the pursuit of like good ideas, the pursuit of truth, the pursuit of worthy ideals, the pursuit of success, the pursuit of your potential, all these things usually carry bad moments and failures, and your family kind of like disowning you, and your people not understanding you. So those are the moments where your resilience kind of shines. And the only reason people are successful is because they didn't quit. That's what every successful person has in common, is that they didn't quit. Every single successful person you can trace back to two things: their ability to be the best, right? If you're at the top, the ability to be the best, and the fact that they never quit. If you can say, I'm never quitting, then who can fucking stop you? It might take you 30 years, it might take you 40 years, but you're not stopping. And most people quit without even having started anything, dude. Like, people quit everything off rip, and they don't. From the moment they start, they have no plan, they have no idea, no mindset.
Results. There's no quick results, and people get discouraged.
But that's an expectation.
Yeah, it's an expectation with no knowledge. because you don't know anything about what you're going into, and you're making the presumption,
and you don't know what, and you have false expectations of what you want is.
Yeah.
You do not know what it means to be an entrepreneur, what it means. Like, people say, I want to be a billionaire. They don't know what that entails. You don't know what it carries to be a billionaire. You may not be mentally fucking able to handle it. Shout out to Sneeko, my boy. Waiting for you. I'll text you. I'll FaceTime you. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we are in a situation right now where it's extremely important to master becoming better. You know, becoming better is extremely important, and society neglects that, and they scold that. Society, you know, talks about this idea of like, don't bully people, don't bully people, don't bully people in schools. Mm-hmm. And the nerdy people are the ones that get bullied. In society, the people that try to actually excel in life and not be the status quo, they get bullied. Yeah. Like, your desire to go and get fucking fit in the gym, like, people bully that.
Yeah, you're such a meathead, bro.
Yeah, like, oh, you're such a meathead. Oh, like, look at your arms. Like, that's all it's about. Oh, so you take care, like, you have money in the bank account because you care about your finances. Oh, you only care about money. And people don't understand how the world works. And people quit without even having started. That's why there's so much negativity. People look at you through the lens of their inability and their lack of belief. But your inability and your lack of belief does not limit me. Right? Like, I am not limited by your reality. I'm limited by my reality. And my reality is that I can do whatever the fuck I want. Right? Because I understand that I have to master these three pillars: the ability to sell, the ability to be resilient, and the ability to be proactive instead of reactive. Most people are reactive in every situation of life. They're like bouncing. They're like a fucking pinball in a pinball machine in life until they go down the gutter. They have zero control of the game. Zero control. So either the pinball getting fucked around and played around by some other person, because this idea that circumstances just happen at random is people's inability to see the bigger picture, that circumstances are created. People and things create circumstances. And if you aren't living or don't have the circumstances that you desire, then you have to be able to create them.
Well, what's the common denominator in every single thing that happens in your life? Good or bad, whatever you interpret it to be, whether it's your fault or not your fault. What's the common denominator in all of it? You.
Yeah.
You're the common denominator. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, and it goes back to like the process, you know, the process shaping you, like the process of e-commerce, stuff like that, shaping you into, you know, a good entrepreneur, a smarter person, a person who understands the world better. And it goes back way to the process of the alchemists, because alchemy wasn't just about transforming metals or, you know, whatever the philosopher's stone, just to see alchemical reactions happen in a vial in front of you. But it was also about the alchemical process happening in the alchemist as he was doing these transformations, as he was learning the world, how different aspects of the world interact with each other, how to transform new things out of what's already present, that transformed the alchemist as well. So yeah, I think when you approach it that way, then like almost like quitting isn't an option.
It's not an option, nor is retiring.
No.
Like, there is no end to becoming the best you. Like, and that's what it's about. Becoming the best you, you're going to have more money. You're going to have a better body. You're going to have better relationships. You're going to have better mindset. You're going to have better levels of joy and happiness. Now, this doesn't mean that it's going to be easy, but I hear all the time being like, all these guys that are like the realistic dudes being like, well, not everybody can have this, or not everybody can do this. Sure, not everybody can, because nobody really even starts. Nobody even really tries. Therefore, nobody's going to, because everybody thinks like you, right? So not everybody can, but why not me? That's what it should be. It's okay. It's not everybody, but why not me? And if everybody said, why not me? Then you would be in a situation where it's like, okay, perfect. I am not part of the status quo in the common man. I stand apart. I become a superior individual, an individual that excels in life, right? And that requires courage, because breaking outside of the mold requires sacrifice. It requires offending people. Plato has an allegory of the cave.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of the allegory of the cave? And he talks about this idea that imagine these individuals sitting in a cave, and behind them, over a wall, a stone wall, is a fire. And in front of a fire that's reflecting onto what they can see, and they're chained, is a wall that has shadows. Mm-hmm. And it's not reality. It's the interpretation, and not even the interpretation. It's the reflection of the act of somebody else that is your reality.
It was a shadow of the theater.
It was a shadow.
So it wasn't even the actual.
It wasn't
theater.
even the real. It was so deep in the matrix. Yeah. Yeah. And then one of them gets free. They go out. They see the real world.
They're from young, right? They're born in the cave.
Yeah, they're attached to the cave, so they're like literally stuck to the cave.
And that's all they're exposed to.
That's all they know. Therefore, their mindset is limited by their knowledge and their belief. That's why when I tell people only the educated are free, is because you are only as free as your mind enables you to be. Because everything around you, literally, like everything around you, is just like a bodysuit, right? The bodysuit, the character who you're developing. That's why we say you have a person of character, a person that lacks character, right? It's a person that lacks being an integrous human being, right? It lacks character, lacks what we believe to be a fundamental human being, right? Fundamentally, you don't have any of this stuff. You're just your mindset, right? Like your mind. That's what you are. And you can talk about soul and you can talk about all these things, but your consciousness is basically it.
Gigamar instead of Belmar.
Gigamar. We have Chad right here, Mr. Belmar. So we got so anyways, continue with the allegory of the cave. The prisoner ends up getting free, and he goes to the real world, and he sees the trees, and he sees the plants, and he sees the leaves, and he goes back, and he's like, well, I can't just keep this to myself. Like, this is insane. Let me go back and tell the other people that are imprisoned. And then he goes back and tells the other people that are imprisoned, and the people, they rebel, and they kill him because they were crushing their reality. They were offending them. That they were living in a lie, and people will believe the lie easier than believing that they are wrong. It's easier for people to believe that they are lying, like that they're living in a lie. Like it's easier for people to be like, oh, it's all fine, than to be like, oh, you know what? Like I actually am kind of stupid. People aren't willing to recognize that, and that's why people end up being in a situation where their belief system is what they ultimately believe to the ultimate truth of the world. But bro, you don't know shit of shit. Like you don't know anything of anything. And you're so capped by your worldview and your inability to perceive things beyond your mind that you don't fathom that other people might be able to unlock things about life and existence and actually become fucking successful that you don't have any fucking idea that exists.
What's the best way for people to enhance their perception?
Being
like widen their peripheral,
being around people that they want to become like, because you begin to live life through the people that you're with. You begin to live doing things that they like to do, seeing things that they like to see, being kind of like drawn into their world. If you allow that, and your ability to move in and out of those things are going to give you exposure. So your ability to put yourself in situations. Dude, if you wanted to be a fucking NBA coach, which you totally could be one day, what would you have to do? Go through the necessary steps and people and processes in order to get to that situation in that place, right? But it all comes down to like where you place yourself and where you position yourself. And that's why I always tell people about success. Success, you don't chase success. You can't chase success. You have to position yourself when the opportunity comes, kind of like a tarantula. Just like you just hop on the prey. Kind of like the spider. The spider teaches a crazy principle. Just like do what you said you were going to do and do it right. And then
it does all that it can do.
And then you just fucking wait. And then you just wait. But people are out here like fucking chasing the fucking spiders through the fucking thing and running around and horsing around while you could literally just chill because you know that your work will pay off because it has been proven to. Because why? It's the fucking formula. And the spiders have the formula in their fucking DNA and they just act on it. But your inability to act on it is because you're dumb as fuck. And that's why you have to level up. You have to be around people who are successful. You have to be around people who are doing what you want to do. I'm giving you guys so much fucking sauce. Hit the like button.
It's like MF Doom says. He says, doesn't matter where you're from, but if you're scared, prepared, or mad dumb.
Yeah.
Bars.
We got 470 people. How many likes do we have, guys?
Stoics are rappers without music. They just spit bars. I think that's my bottom. Fucking use the bathroom.
How many likes do we have, guys?
Thanks.
393. All right, when we have 422, we'll do it. We'll continue at 422.
Yeah, I got a pen.
Yeah, but we can hit it right here. We'll finish this.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Anyways, so at 422, we continue. Guys, anyways, what I would like to also remind you guys is we have 4 spots available for Capital Club European Mastermind, September 14th to 19th in Albania this year at one of the nicest resorts in the world. The water looks so fucking amazing. We were there the other day. It's like unbelievable. So I look forward to having 60 plus entrepreneurs from 13 different countries show up. If you would like one of the 4 tickets that's left, make sure you DM me at Luke Belmar on Instagram, and you can get one of the last 4 spots available. It's going to be super amazing. Anyways, we're at 434. Let's do 444. I like that number. Let's get to 444, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll continue. Okay, so
When tour now? This is the tour.
when tour? We're touring right now, brother. We're touring right now. We're doing it right. Somebody said 500 likes and Luke does a line.
How would you sell $100 for a TikTok?
How would you sell $100 for a TikTok video?
Maybe sell a
I'm guessing.
TikTok video
Are you
for
asking?
100?
Are you asking how to be an influencer? 444, ladies and gentlemen. All right, perfect. We got it. All right, let's continue. Let's do an AMA. Let's do some questions, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll continue.
Dubai?
It is.
Dubai.
What about Dubai? Is it laggy, guys, or did this get fixed? Are we fixed? Are we fixed with the lag, boys and girls? It is 11:43. How's the lag? How's the lag? Okay, a little bit laggy. It's all good. You can't have everything. At least you're here getting some sauce, getting some value, getting some high-level information.
Audio's still good though.
Shall we talk a little bit about Woodrow Wilson?
Sure.
Tell me a little bit about what you know about Woodrow Wilson.
Woodrow Wilson served 2 terms. He was the president responsible for signing the Federal Reserve Act in 1913, I believe. He was the president responsible for the U.S. getting into World War I, like toward the end of World War I, even though he campaigned as the president who left them out of the war during his first term. Yeah, and then I think he founded like League of Nations, right? Then
He was
the UN.
he was involved with that. He was involved with the creation of the passports. Guys, this idea that like even passports, right? Think about passports. The passport that you get to travel around the world with. Who created that? When was that created? Right? Like, do you think that always existed? It didn't. It was created and exercised after the world wars. So every time that there's crisis, it's exemplified and you kind of have more oppression as time goes on, and you kind of get more lockdowns and more restrictions. If somebody told you, right, we don't even have COVID anymore, and you still have all the barricades up like you're a fucking dog that's like a cow walking to the slaughter. That's how they kind of have you corralling you.
Yeah.
And that's now the norm.
We can't talk about this on YouTube, right?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah?
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, now like even like Bill Gates is coming out saying like, oh well, at the time during talking about the vaccines, we didn't know really how low the mortality rate actually was. Johnson and Johnson, the government already stopped recommending the vaccine because people are getting increased blood clots, heart disease, stuff like that. Like what the heck?
I mean, we all kind of knew it was going to happen. Anthony, can you make sure you're moderating this? By the way, can we get the comments up on the screen? Can you guys see the comments on the screen? Let's see here. Can you guys see the comments on the screen? Because I can't see it.
I mean, it's laggy anyway, so.
Yeah, it's fine. You guys don't need it anyway. It's totally fine. Here, hang on. I don't know how to do this chat shit, guys. Anyways, here we have Giga Chad, Mr. Belmar on Instagram. And he's an absolute Chad. So you guys will be hearing more about him soon at Mr. Belmar on Instagram. We're not in Puerto Rico. We're traveling around the world. We're in Albania right now. Nate said, for entrepreneurs, Nate, better train lift in the morning or at nighttime?
It depends.
They can't hear you.
The mic, yeah.
Oh,
just talk louder.
Yo, can you ask them to test if they
You
can
have to
hear
talk louder. Here, you can do this real quick. You can talk to them about.
What's the question again?
He said for entrepreneurs, like what's the best?
Work out in the morning or at night?
Yeah.
Well, because it depends.
It depends on what?
It depends on like when they work. Because some people are night owls and they stay up all night.
So give both scenarios. If somebody's a night owl, what would you recommend? If somebody wakes up early, morning person, what would you recommend? But as a whole, you would probably recommend waking up early in the morning, right?
Bro. Yeah, overall. Can you guys hear me?
No, you can't hear anything, bro. It's not playing anything.
Oh, okay. What was the question one time? You were talking about no. Yeah, we were talking about most optimal time for working out. It depends because we know a lot of entrepreneurs that work in the morning and they just absolutely crush it. And then there's people that like are night owls and they're just more optimized to work out at night. Ideally, what I would say is I've worked out at night for a long time, and it's harder to sleep for me because I feel like I just still have a lot of energy going on. So it's kind of hard to go to sleep. So ideally in the morning, yeah, definitely optimal workout. First thing in the morning, fasted. Yeah, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, I mean we've been working out in the mornings.
Yeah, we've been getting up at 5.
We've been waking up at 5, going to the gym at 6, working out for about 90 minutes. Shout out to our coach, who's an absolute fucking beast. And then we end up in a situation where by 8 a.m. we're already back home, and you look like Einstein,
dude. I totally do.
We actually don't even need this. So you end up being in a situation where by 8 a.m. you're already worked out. You already have your protein shake, and we've talked about this idea that the meal that you introduce to your body as the first meal of the day, it usually programs the enzymes to kind of focus on that specific protein or that specific food type or that specific food for the day. And that's kind of what it's going to give you cravings for. So it's really interesting to be in kind of a situation where health is so important to the entrepreneurial career. Yeah. You know, most people neglect it and they don't understand that you need better mental power. You need more strength. You need to be optimized. You need to be optimal because you're competing against absolute fucking savages, right? You are competing against individuals who are at the highest levels of society, and they're exercising, they're working out, they're telling you their foods, their diets, their regimen, and their kind of like ability to kind of work and stuff. What are you looking for?
What you looking for, bro?
Looking for my wallet, but don't worry about it.
So anyways, what's your story, Mr. Belmar? People want to know.
Okay.
Make it brief.
I'll make it brief.
And
Okay.
up.
So, we lived in several countries.
Can you be interesting?
I mean, yeah, I can do my best. He's older.
Anyways, let's continue. So the moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen, is you got to get your fucking act right. You got to get your act together. That's the moral of the story here. Nothing else is kind of relevant. So we are. How long has the stream been? 45 minutes. Let's do another 15 minutes, and we'll kind of execute accordingly. What do you think? So you know what's interesting, and we were thinking about it because we started boxing and stuff like that. And we've been going to the gym, and we do conditioning, and we're kind of in the ring and stuff like that. Jake Paul's a fucking animal.
I agree.
Jake Paul's an absolute savage because what it takes to train at these levels that this kid's training at consistently every single day. Now I understand, right? You have coaches, you have money, you don't need to work. Like you worry about different things. But he's still a fucking savage, bro, because to get in the ring, to actually fight someone like Tyron Woodley, bro, doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Tyron Woodley is like a killer, dude. So the reason I mentioned that is because health is super important to your entrepreneurial career, and your ability to monetize your health is just another asset, right? If you're fat and gross and smelly, your ability to captivate and capture people's attention and stand apart is a lot less than if you were massively good looking and you were healthy and you were fit and you were cheerful, right? So you should be utilizing your health as an asset to your success because it is key and it's an optimal part of that kind of developmental process. Do you agree?
I agree 100%. 100%. I mean, think about it. Like everything you do is, if we put it this way, for spirits within a vessel, then you have to take care of the vessel. Like everybody is so focused on buying their first home. Their first home is their body. You know what I'm saying? Like your first home is your body, and you're not taking care of it. You guys are worrying about your first down deposit on yourself.
Yeah,
that's where you're living 24/7.
Yeah, like, literally, people are like, "Oh, well, I want to live."
That's your home, bro.
Yeah, dude, I want to live in a bigger house, bro. Like, and all this shit, and they try to find comfort and happiness in exterior things instead of being like, "Oh shit, like I could actually I don't need any of these things because what I own today will either be destroyed or owned by somebody else tomorrow. So it doesn't really fucking matter."
Correct.
But your ability to take care of your vessel, which has multiple definitions. A vessel doesn't only have the definition of like a container, but also has the definition of a travel vehicle. And it's
Correct.
A vehicle of a journey. So I think you got to take care of that shit, bro. I think that most people could be living till they're like 100 years, 120 years of age. First of all, they don't even believe that they can. Two, is they say, well, the average person, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm not talking about the average person, right? Because we're talking about being extraordinary individuals in an ordinary world that limits you and boxes you up with bullshit, right? So how do you, somebody said, Luke Belmar, how did you make your millions? E-commerce, digital kind of entrepreneurship, and then threw all my money in crypto and NFTs. Made quite a bit of money. It was pretty awesome. So now we're just kind of traveling the world and having a good time. But anyways, that's kind of it from me. Yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. It's been a while. Kind of wanted to say hi. Hope you guys are doing well. I am going to post a photo on Instagram tomorrow at a random time. You guys will know this. I won't post it. The people that comment in the first 60 minutes, I'm going to enter them into a raffle for $100. You guys know that. So if you want that, there's 470 people in here. So just comment within the first hour. I won't tell anybody. Then I'm going to pick a random person and give them $100. Nice. I was going to do a lifetime membership to Capital Club, but Capital Club lifetime membership is so valuable that I can't just give that shit away. For what? A comment?
No.
What do you think? I'm some sort of fucking moron, some charity? You know, like, not gonna happen. So tomorrow, I'm gonna be posting an Instagram photo. We're gonna succeed. $99 donation from Zudort Sante says, "Hey, Mr. Belmar, I fuck with your content on IG. You got to make more stuff on YouTube. I make anime, manga, clothes. Let me know if you're interested."
Ooh,
That would be cool.
DM me, bro.
Yeah,
me.
DM your name, and we'll get you taken care of. Thanks for the 99. Good shit. Okay, perfect. Yeah, appreciate you guys. That's pretty much it for me. Have a wonderful day. It's good to see you guys back here, and see you guys soon. Now that we have the setup, might fucking do this tomorrow.
Yeah, views, bro.
Do you guys want a little tour?
Can you disconnect it?
Do you guys want a little tour? I'll give you guys a little tour. Should I give you guys a tour? Hang on, I'll just lift this shit. I'll just lift the camera.
At Dumbo. Yeah.
How the fuck does that work? There you go. That's your tour.
A quick glimpse.
A quick glimpse of the best hotel in the city. All right, motherfuckers. Have a wonderful night. Peace.
Peace.